So one of the most dynamic running backs we have seen come out of college, under center, and Odell Beckham out wide, Sterling Shepard out wide, Evan Ingram on the line at tight end next to Nate Solder, the protector that they got in free agency. This young man is about to go to the New York Giants and play in New York City and the New York metropolitan area. Wow. Big night for Saquon, a couple of nights after he becomes a newborn dad. Mike? And adding his name with Teddy Bridgewater to the Jets quarterback room. The third overall pick in the draft is Sam Darnold out of USC.
And I've got to be honest with you. I think the Jets have hit on a quarterback that can play early. But the beauty of the situation right now with the Jets is because they re-signed Josh McCown. They can play him when he's ready to play. It's a little bit like Carson Wentz a couple of years ago with the Eagles. They had Sam Bradford. If it took him a year, it was okay. If it took him...
All the Ohio State fans in Ohio, wow, are excited over the pick that Denzel Ward doesn't have to leave the state to play professional football.
It's always what you hear early in the process, Mike. Quarterback and corner were the priorities when John Dorsey got there. We traveled a winding road, but that's exactly where we ended up.
And think about it. This was a need. This was a big need, more than defensive end was a need for them, even though I still believe the...
Tonight, to announce Denver's pick is Austin, who is a St. Jude patient. Austin is 17 and an aspiring broadcaster from New Mexico and a big Broncos fan. Austin has benefited from the care teams at St. Jude and is an inspiration to all of us. Okay, Austin, let's show them how it's done.
With the 5th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Bradley Chubb, defensive end, NC State.
Rush ability here with Chubb. Von Miller, former first-round pick. Shane Ray going into they've got to make a decision on him on his 5th-year option by May 3rd. But the three of them getting after quarterbacks in a sub-package. Wow.
You lose a corner. Going to Western New York, hoping for all Bills fans that he is the second coming somehow, some way of Jim Kelly to bring a Super Bowl trophy to the Lombardi Star fans there in Western New York. Mike, your thoughts?
Couple of things. Number one, I give them a lot of credit for being patient, not going all the way up.
Let's say one of the top 2 or 3 players in this draft, Mike.
And Coach, I would tell you that the MVP of Chicago's defense last year was actually Vic Fangio. They were number 9 in the league in points allowed.
Okay, so after several years of having a USC quarterback at the controls, they will now hand the future at some point off to UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen. Enjoying a moment with the commissioner there. Arizona Cardinals is his home.
Come on over here, sir.
Professional football. Sigh of relief.
Look at the
night going to South Florida.
That's Crockett.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Which one was Don Johnson? I can't remember.
Nice look at him.
He was Crockett.
Minka Fitzpatrick putting on a Miami Dolphin uniform. Mike, your thoughts on this pick?
Yeah, I love the player and I love the outfit tonight. I'm surprised at the pick just because they signed Bo Allen in free agency, Mitch Unrein in free agency. They still have Gerald McCoy. They reworked that entire front of their defense. They were number 32 in almost every defensive category. I thought for sure they were going defensive back there, DJ.
Yeah, this is a team that couldn't rush the passer at all last year. Last in sacks. They made the move, though, to go get JPP to put him in that mix. Now you look, they were last against the pass, last in third down, last in sacks, last in total.
And here we were talking about Sean Payton's next offensive step.
Ian, I apologize, my brother. You were right. I was way off, and I don't mean to diminish Marcus Davenport at all. This is an exciting young edge rusher. He's very raw from UTSA, but his upside is off the charts. He's almost 6'6", 264 pounds. And when you're talking about an edge rusher, DJ.
Pac-12 country. and play for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, I thought they wanted Michael McGlinchey at 10. When San Francisco took McGlinchey at 9, Oakland trades down from 10 to 15. They get the number 2 offensive tackle in this draft. Keep in mind, Donald Penn, the incumbent left tackle, is 35 years old and makes an awful lot of money. You can plug him in, I believe. Now,
Groansed up at 19. This is a stout defensive player. This barrel-chested 19-year-old young man coming out of the green room right now, getting ready to run downhill and play some defense in Western New York.
I think they said that tight end in New England didn't retire, Mike. So you get to meet him pretty quick.
he doesn't turn 20 till next week on May 2nd. He turns 20. He's an off-the-ball linebacker that some people can think he's so talented that he might even be an edge defender, a pass rusher on third down. His future is immense. I think Sean McDermott's excited about him. 6'4.5", 253. Guys, he ran 4.5. He's really, really a good football player. When I first put the tape on, you expect with a bigger safety to see some hip stiffness, some hip tightness, and you don't see it with him. He can open his hips and drive to a deep half or a deep third. He can cover tight ends man-to-man. And when he gets there, he arrives in a bad humor.
Florida State, better known as DB.
In addition to be competitive, tough, he tackles, he finds the football in the air. He also adds value in the punt return game. And I think Green Bay, and keep in mind, historically, Green Bay only takes corners that can find the ball in the air. And this kid does it.
And he can play inside and outside.
That's a huge benefit. Watching this guy, I thought about the honeybacker. He's a little undersized, but he's all over the field making plays in the run and the pass.
I mean, he's 5'10 1/4", 190
the stage.
Understand this dude is 20 pounds heavier than the rest of the upscale linebacker class. Most of those guys come in at 235. He's 255 pounds. He finds a way to get under and over blocks in the run game, but in the pass game, I think he's special. I've never seen a linebacker since Kuechly understand crossing routes, how to get deep on a Tampa 2 coverage, and he's got eyes everywhere. Battled through a hernia injury early in the year. His tape is outstanding. Well coached, has production coming off the edge on third down, even though I don't think that's what he's going to be at this level. But keep in mind with Tennessee what they have at linebacker. Wesley Woodyard, 32 years old. They signed Will Compton from Washington, and Jayon Brown is more of a dime guy. So he's a starter day one.
So the New England Patriots are now 2.5 minutes into being on the clock. This is the pick, but there he is at home, presented by Oikos 000. DJ Moore is now going to join Devin Funchess and the re-signed Greg Olsen and Christian McCaffrey, and obviously Cam Newton quarterbacked offense with Norv Turner coordinating it in Carolina.
He actually had 8 quarterbacks in his 3 years there, including 3 this year, and still caught 80 passes for over 1,000 yards. I love his run after catch.
At home with Calvin Ridley in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, presented by Oikos 000, overcoming with emotion right here. What a neat moment where the Falcons rise up. Pat, his whole family, dream being realized. It's awesome. And we would say we return to Twitter to see what Julio Jones thinks about an Alabama Crimson Tide receiver joining him, but we all know he's kind of changed his social media strategy over the last 48 hours.
He's familiar playing in that Falcon Stadium too. SEC championship,
oh yeah,
national championship.
That's right. Look at him. Oh, look at he's crying. This is awesome.
With the 28th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Terrell Edmunds.
So Ryan Shazier walks out and welcomes into the mix to the defense in Pittsburgh Terrell Edmunds, who, as we all know, is the first time in the NFL draft history that brothers are taken in the same first round. His brother Tremaine was taken by the Bills 16th overall. And now it is Terrell Edmunds taken 28th overall, as announced by Ryan Shazier. That was
They've got to make a decision on Dante Fowler and his contract. This young man's a one-year starter at Florida. Explosive, freakish athlete. Ran 4.9 at almost 300 pounds.
Listen to this place go crazy right now.
There he is, the Heisman Trophy winner from a couple years ago. Michael Irvin giving him a nice hug, coming on out. I proffer to say, I look at researcher Bill Smith, this has to be the only first round in NFL draft history where the first pick of the night is a Heisman Trophy winner, and so is the last. Started with Baker Mayfield, and it finishes with Lamar Jackson going to the Baltimore